Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hello, everybody.
Hey everyone.
My name is David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Apostle.
Apostle.
Applesole.
Apostle.
Apostle. Apostle.
He shall be cleansed according to the edict of this land.
The promise of the divine is but an illusion. God is pain. God is suffering. Beware false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
Let us begin.
Man,
So this is the film.
So this movie came out when
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, and we've gotten requests to do it. And then we looked at this weekend of movies, and it's like Johnny English.
Johnny English Reborn and fucking Hunter Killer.
Yeah, Suspiria is limited, and we didn't want to do a limited release because you all haven't seen it.
Right.
So we're doing Apostle, which is on Netflix and is very good.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is the director of The Raid,
Yeah, Gareth Evans.
Gareth Evans. We talked about it on a Hypecast.
Yep.
He also did the segment of VHS that is the most memorable, VHS 2, right?
Yeah, it's VHS 2, the cult
And-
segment.
Yeah, where the dude explodes. I remember
Guy
him
explodes,
exploding.
lady gives birth to a goat demon.
Yeah, it
It's
calls him.
pretty sweet.
Yeah. And this is not much different. Well, it's different,
It's
but like
different.
in terms of craziness,
It doesn't go quite as insane as that.
no. This it takes a lot for me to wince or like be like, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several moments in this of me like being like, shit, no,
Yeah.
no, or just the fucking. You want to jump right ahead to the brain part, the brain drill.
screw?
The
brain
part,
drill?
the brain drill was difficult. It was when he puts his head in the clamp and they show his POV and it turns red.
Yeah. Yeah, they
it, like,
tease it a bit
blotchy
in the
red.
trailer, but yeah, it starts with the
Fuck.
the camera's POV is looking to one side, and as they tighten the vise, like it starts turning as if his head's being forced into a certain direction, and then
And
it
you hear a
locks.
crunch
then
and
there's
like
yeah,
his vision just starts getting like red splotches and it's just like, fuck
Yeah.
you.
and they put this brain drill through this poor kid's head.
Yeah.
It looks like an apple corer.
Which I know we jumped straight ahead to this, but when because it's in the trailer,
Yeah.
and when they first introduced the kid who's like, "Hi, how's it going?" I'm just like, "Oh, he's gonna get the brain drill." That's the kid. that is the victim.
I've
Like,
read the tea leaves here.
Yeah.
And there is a brain drill in your
It's
future.
a happy-go-lucky kid. He is
I'm gonna help you, mister.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of like because he's getting all chummy with Dan Stevens, and then Dan Stevens is like, "You're gonna help me."
Yeah. I love that this is a world where people listen to their elders, even if their elders are, because he's just like, boy, come here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna betray everybody you know. You're gonna help me. And he's just like,
help
sure, mister. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm just to jump ahead again. The other moment that made me go, oh fuck this, was when he's going through the sewage. And the
yeah.
old lady pops
the witch
out.
pops
and I was
out.
just like, nope, no. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. This fucking movie. All
And
right.
the people grinder at the end, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this movie is about. It starts off right away with Dan Stevens on a train to this shipyard to take a boat to this island where this cult lives. And
Right.
it's because
He's doing old timey medicine.
he is on old timey drugs.
Yeah.
He's an old timey
probably
drug
heroin, or I don't know. He's doing
Laudanum,
stuff out of
something
a
like-
dropper,
Yeah.
and it seems like he's really enjoying it.
addict. Yeah. His sister's been kidnapped.
He's also been presumed dead.
Yes.
And he's been sent to this island of cultists to retrieve his sister
Yes.
by like his father's friend. They don't.
like
they don't.
account manager
yeah.
or something. Like his father's like an invalid. He's like a very old but very wealthy like industrialist or something.
Yeah. He also like hates him.
Right.
And so they give you just enough to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. To just throw you right in there, and right away, like Dan Stevens betrays someone at the boat.
Yeah.
Because he notices they've marked his ticket,
All right.
so he switches tickets with this like kindly old man.
Yeah, one thing about this movie is it definitely did the thing where, when you watch movies like this and you're like, oh, well, the character's so dumb, I would have done this or this. He kind of does the things that I'm like, oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Because he's waiting in line and he notices they sent him a ticket and a ransom letter.
Yes.
That's the whole thing. They've kidnapped his sister.
Yeah, they're just,
and they're like, we want
just
money.
doing it for money.
Yeah, we really need money.
We need some cash.
We found this rich lady and we're taking her. And so he's waiting in line. And he notices that his ticket has like a red splotch and all the other tickets don't. And they're all cultists just going on this little boat. So he like does a cool switch with a kindly old man. Yep. He's like, sir, may I help you with your books? And then he switches tickets.
Yep.
And then they mark an X on his luggage, the cultists, of the old man that he switched with. This is like, what, first 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just, I wanted to note that because then in the first 10 minutes, a lamb is hucked from a boat.
Yeah. They're on the boat.
Oh, shit.
He's just sitting in there, and like some lady starts talking to him. And they're a little suspicious. I'm just like, oh, we haven't seen you at any prayer meetings. She's like, oh, I haven't seen you either.
Yeah.
And the same kindly old man who he swapped tickets with, they'd like noticed this lamb got loose.
A lamb falls because it's like storming, and
Yeah.
What's his name grabs it, and he's holding
Dan
the lamb.
Stevens.
Dan Stevens. It's a great, yeah. It really sets up the cult.
The lamb gets knocked loose in the storm, I guess, in one of the crates it was supposed to be in. So he's like holding it like a puppy, and then the kindly old man takes the lamb from him and just flings it the fuck off the boat.
Right, across the boat first. It's bowling. He bowls with the
he
lamb.
bowls that
and
lamb.
it slides across the boat and just goes "Meow," and disappears.
Straight. It was.
And then he says something was like, "Don't interfere with with her or whatever." Like
it's
the
it's her
idea
will.
of,
Yeah.
but that kind of bugged me because I mean I get we're establishing they're a cultist and the idea that they'll kill a lamb because that's how, without thinking. But like the lamb wasn't in danger. Like he had to slide that lamb across the boat to kill it. The lamb just fell into the boat.
Yeah.
Like if he was like, don't, it was her will. It's like, no, it wasn't. You hucked that lamb across the boat.
I had it, man.
Yeah.
I was holding it.
And had he not held it, the lamb would have just been there.
Yeah.
Like,
you could have put it back in the box when the storm left.
yeah,
but
it's a perfectly good lamb.
It reminded me of the scene in The Ring when the horse leaps off the boat and like trips over the railing and gets chopped up it's like that sudden.
Right. And
it's like, fuck this lamb.
Great fucking idea because the movie, it doesn't let up.
No.
But you're just starting. It's 10 minutes. It's a lot of setting up story. And that got my attention.
Yeah.
Like I was watching this in the morning and it was just like, hey, we just sucked a lamb off. And it was that moment of me like, back up. Like, did I just see that correctly?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wanted to make sure I got that.
Yeah. It's a great moment. Kind of funny, which is it's kind of funny in the sense that it's so horrible that you kind of laugh because it's over the top.
Right. And it's just not what you expect.
Yeah. There's a lot of Bible stuff in this, and this is another thing, which is it's a lamb, which is a very biblical animal.
This movie is about
getting just tossed to the slaughter by this cult.
This movie, believe it or not, is about Dan Stevens getting his faith back.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But it's like his faith in like a
higher power.
Yeah, not the same higher power.
Not necessarily, but like we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But it's like he accepts like, oh, there are actually things that are beyond humans.
Yes.
So he gets to my favorite thing about this movie is Dan Stevens gets to the cult's island and immediately from this point until the end of the film does not give a shit about this cult.
He's so surly.
Like he's never like, even in the scene we described where he's in the blood river and the witch pops up, he's like, ugh. But as soon as he gets out of the river, he's like back to, I'm fucking pissed off Dan Stevens.
He's like
he's
Wolverine.
not fazed by
Like,
anything
yeah,
that
he's
happens.
constantly surly, and he doesn't try that hard to fit in.
Not really.
He tries
no.
hard enough.
He stalks around this island.
Yeah.
And immediately grabs this young boy, Jeremy, who's just like helpful. And he's like, "You're going to help me."
Well, because he catches Jeremy having the sex
He
with
catches
another
Jeremy
lady.
boning this lady at night. And then he's like, "Well, I've got you. I'm going to blackmail you unless you help me find my
Yeah.
sister." He's just...
Okay, so he, all right, he gets to the island. There's everybody. They check him for lice and shit.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced with our cult leader, who is
the three cult leaders.
the three cult leaders.
Michael Sheen's the main guy.
Yeah.
He's like the preacher. Then you have this guy Quinn, who's like this fucking gigantic dickhead who like basically he controls their police.
Yeah, there's a good moment where later they're pursuing someone, and he's like, "Quinn, you wait here," and he's like, "I'm better suited going in." He's like, "I don't want him dead. Like,
Yeah.
you're just gonna kill him." And then Quinn kind of gives a face like, "Yeah, I would kill him."
He's got my number.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And the other guy is
The father of the young boy.
Paul or
I don't know.
John. I can't remember his name, but anyway, there's Frank. It's Frank.
Frank.
There are three guys, and they're the three guys that started the cult.
Yes, and Michael Sheen, that was a shocker because I only know him from like fucking playing Wesley Snipes in 30 Rock. Like I've only seen him in like funny British characters.
Oh,
So they gave him this like he looks like fucking Andy Serkis in the Avengers. Like he's
does,
got
yeah.
fucking beard and he's all like he's got that gruff voice and it was very weird to see him in this role.
yeah, and it's a weird. Well, it's an interesting role because he's the head of the cult, but he's kind of not really the bad guy.
No, he's not. They did a good job at
It's like, I mean, he wants their.
no one's great.
No one's great, but like we discover that what's going on this island is that there's some sort of forest spirit or like forest
Like
god
a siren. Like
that they have imprisoned basically, and if they feed her blood, it like makes all the crops grow, but it's
Yeah.
stopped working.
yeah, which is we're jumping ahead there because that's what you just described is the moment this movie becomes batshit.
Yes.
And it happens later.
Happens about halfway through.
Yeah, because they allude to it. There's watching it. I've seen it twice now, and like it seems like she wants what's Dan Stevens?
Yeah.
She really wants his blood. Like she's really into his blood.
She's like stoked about it.
Yeah, and
like,
I think the idea is that like you don't want to eat the same thing all your life.
Well, I think there's an implication too that it's like because Michael Sheen, it's revealed that Michael Sheen has been feeding her his own blood,
Right.
but also in like the little barn that she's kept in, we see later that there are like dead bodies in there, the people that have been killed,
Yeah.
presumably by Quinn.
They've been trying out a lot of things.
So they've been. I think the implication
They start
is,
with animals. They show in the
Yeah.
flashback.
I think the implication is once they started murdering people and feeding them to her, like that's when all the crops went bad.
Oh yeah, I could see that. But all of this, none of this is mentioned at first.
Nope.
It's the first night is Sheen goes into a trap door and you see him go into a barn, and then everybody is leaving jars of blood out at night.
Yeah, you have to cut your finger and leave a jar of blood
Yeah.
in front of your door.
And the first,
that's how they've been doing it. They take
they take the blood.
from the whole community.
and it's a good setup because then he's like looking through windows because night one he's snooping, like he's just like fuck
He's
it,
doing the snoops, doing the
and he
creepy
looks through a
creeps.
window and sees a woman cut, like the husband cutting.
Yeah,
his
and
wife.
They have to call the
And then
daughter
they're
over,
and the daughter is terrified and it's just like, what the fuck is happening? And then he borrows some of his neighbor's blood and puts it in his jar.
Yeah.
And then he goes to go inside his room and cuts himself on the key.
Yeah.
And the blood hits the ground, and then he goes inside and they do this cut to the blood going through the floorboards, and there's just this old woman mouth like being like like going for the
really
blood.
lapping it up like a hamster at a water bottle.
Yeah, and it's a really great like what the fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, some shit's going down.
Yeah.
And it's established pretty quickly that something's not right.
Yep.
They also show the side of the church, like the first time he gives a sermon. You see,
You
like
see her walk by the old lady.
right. You also see the grass on the side of the church like disintegrate and die.
Yeah, and that's why they've kidnapped Dan Stevens' sister is for ransom, so they can buy food and crops and shit because
Right.
they're like desperate. And
Their cult's not going great.
cult's not going great. We started out strong. We came out of the gate real hot.
Yeah.
Now things are taking a turn. She's not liking the blood anymore.
Man, this fucking film. But yeah,
They murder the kindly old man that he swapped tickets with.
right. Yeah, they beat him up, and then
That's sort of the first hint that we get that Sheen's not necessarily the villain because he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because
yeah,
Quinn has basically killed this guy.
yeah, he does slit his throat though.
He does, yeah.
But that's when they realize, like, okay, there's a fucking there's a traitor amongst us.
Right, he snuck in because they don't know who Dan Stevens is.
Yeah,
So he snuck in, and it basically like he befriends.
yeah. Well, what
Sheen's
happens
daughter
the
and-
next? Yeah, oh yeah, he meets the daughter.
Yeah, I mean,
All the women are just like, they know this is all bullshit. Like every woman character is just like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, we're in a cult. It fucking
that's kind of
sucks.
bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah, they all seem like completely aware because the moment they can, they're like, let's bounce.
Yeah. I mean, they came there because like, well, we don't really want to pay taxes.
Yeah.
We don't want to have money, and that's like the big draw. Like Sheen in the sermon that we see is like, you don't have to have money here. Everybody's got a role. We've all got homes. We all
Right.
just work together as a community and worship this weird tree goddess. Yeah, because I don't want us to just kind of describe what happens in the movie, but like,
Well, this is the only moment that sort of like it works, but it was sort of me like, that was too easy. Is when he knows there's a traitor, so he gets all the new people and he puts them together in the church.
yeah, this is very The Raid.
Yeah, and he starts going through each one, reciting their weird scripture.
Yeah, they have to quote he starts a quote and they have to finish the quote from their Bible.
Right, and Dan Stevens is near the end, and like obviously he doesn't fucking know.
Pulls
It's
out his
just
straight razor that
Yeah.
he keeps like pulling out. Like he's like, I'm gonna have to fucking slash someone.
yeah, he is always ready to fucking
He is
slash someone.
right there. So like again, he doesn't give a shit.
He
about
really
this
doesn't.
cult.
No, and why would he? Why should
He's
he?
like so. We learn later why he's like so not phased.
He
by
doesn't
anything.
even seem all that interested in like getting his sister back. Like, I mean, he's there for that, but he still kind of takes his time with it.
Well,
I mean, yeah, he doesn't have much of a.
there's a reason. Like
Yeah.
they after they figure out that he's hiding, they drag his sister out and basically tie her up in the middle of the town square.
right, yeah.
So he can't like just
Go grab her.
yeah.
But yeah, by pure luck, the guy next to him is also a spy, and so Dan Stevens like saves the cult leader from. He basically like pulls a double cross, a triple cross, or whatever, and like stops the guy from killing.
Have you guys seen License to Kill?
Is this what this is?
It's kind of like License to
Yeah.
Kill, where he gets in with the bad guy on the bad guy's good side because the guy next to him in line just happened to be an assassin sent from the king.
I was thinking like The Departed also has a lot of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And so yeah, he gets on the good side of the cult leader.
But the part that it's the whole scene is very Raid like. It's a bunch of guys on their knees,
Yeah.
which they do in the both Raid movies, and then they're going one by one down the line. And then when the assassin gets up and Dan Stevens thwarts him but gets injured in the process, the assassin gets stabbed by about 5 spears. And it's such a
doesn't-
scene from the Raid. It's just like it comes in from all angles, and like he really zooms in on one of them like smashing into the ground.
Right, and he
It's
doesn't
like,
die. Not right away.
not right away.
There's a few moments. There was another spear moment that was like, yeah, this is the director of Raid.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, Dan Stevens suddenly becomes a ninja for 5 seconds.
For exactly 5 seconds, he fucking bashes one guy's head with a spear, and then stabs the other guy through the face with the broken spear.
That seemed so out of place. I feel like Dan Stevens like went to the director and was like, "Give me, you do that ninja stuff. Give me some ninja stuff. I want ninja stuff."
Yeah. Look at me, I can flip,
Yeah,
I can kick.
I can do a flip. I bet he did a flip for him.
I wish I love Dan Stevens and I love him in this movie. Part of me wishes he would have just kept Iko Uwais from the Raid. Like have him be like this Englishman.
Oh yeah.
Just who gives a shit because it's all make believe.
Yeah.
So there would have been more like him just stone cold beating the shit out of cultists.
Yeah. Fuck it. Just tearing them apart.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. Just a sea of white English people and then this Indonesian man
Yeah.
just beating the hell out of people.
And they keep being like, "There's a traitor amongst us.
Yeah.
One of you is not who you seem."
Someone has infiltrated.
Oh, that would be great.
Would have been great.
That would have been great.
Yeah, so it's this movie. I mean, like The Raid, and more so The Raid 2. The movie is really, it's like gorgeous. Like wherever he filmed it, it's this great exterior location. Every shot just looks like so good.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm certain they built these sets for it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very pretty, and then just very fucking horrific at the same time.
Oh yeah, it gets real Silent Hill in some parts.
Yeah. Just it's a good horror movie in the sense that it's not nonstop. There's no jump scares, I don't think.
No.
Even though a woman coming out of the sewage isn't done as a jump scare.
Right, and then her appearance in the floorboards it's a build. Like,
Yeah.
you know something's about to happen.
Exactly.
And
It's
happens, yeah.
tension,
Yeah.
and it's just relying on creepy fucking imagery.
It's really more of a thriller. It's just
yeah.
horrific. Like there's some really graphic moments.
Yeah, I would say it's straight up horror. The part I'm describing is he breaks into the basement that the cultists have been using to get to the barn, and we don't know what the hell the barn is yet. We don't know what's going on.
We just know there's an underground tunnel that leads them right to this barn that glows from within with green light.
Yes, and the cultists realize that he's in there, and they like go to they try to flush him out. One of them goes in, the other two guard both sides of the tunnel, and he finds this like sewage hole and just goes in that instead, and it's like super claustrophobic.
It's a river of like offal.
Yeah,
It's like it's not
It's
straight
dis-
up. It's like
it's just disgusting.
gore and
Yeah.
blood and chunks.
Yeah,
It's real gross.
and he's going through, and he's like shimmying through, and suddenly a fucking head comes out.
Yep.
And it's an old lady looking at him, and then she takes a moment and then
Yeah.
just starts going after him.
They
and
have a
he's just-
moment of eye contact where he's like,
Well, this is awkward.
and then she fucking howls.
Yeah.
And starts coming at him, so he scrambles out on the other side of this cave.
Which conveniently shows him exactly what the hell is going on, but he doesn't realize all the cave drawings.
It makes sense though at the end when we
Yeah.
find out her goal basically is she's been waiting for someone like him, like somebody who I don't know. It's never made clear. This movie is like
It doesn't need to be clear because
Doesn't need to be
you
clear.
understand that. You understand it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I like about this is they don't spell anything out for you. They tell you exactly what you need to know, but like the mystery, like the weird like spiritual shit, like you don't really like there's enough there that you know what's going on, but they don't give you all this fucking mythology.
The thing we find later is that she's actually trapped in the barn, and what he saw is like a projection of her.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't really there. She was leading him into the cave to see all that shit.
Yeah.
She basically wants him to free her, essentially.
Yep.
Man.
And he does.
He does, and he ends up taking her place. That's how
By
the movie ends.
setting her on fire.
Yep.
He does take her place, right?
Yeah. He becomes like the spirit of the island.
Yeah.
Which is
spoilers.
we find out his what happened to him is he was a priest who was in China, I think, or
I don't
Vietnam.
know. Yeah. Again, they were vague about it, but you get the gist.
And anyway, he and his whole congregation was murdered by the people who didn't want Christianity there, which is
Right.
totally understandable.
It's a war on Christmas.
Yeah, it is totally a war on Christmas. But they burn everything down, and they let him go, but they fucking brand a gigantic crucifix on his back. So that's why everybody thought he was dead.
Right.
Because they thought he got killed in this massacre, but instead he just decided, fuck it, God's not real because I Like he's like screaming, praying.
Yeah,
to God.
he's
like,
at that moment
fucking,
like, "Hey God, you want to step in?"
now would be the time, man.
Yeah, I've paid money. I want my investment to come back here.
Yeah. So he's just been getting high and hating everything,
Yeah, like people do.
like you do. He's been Martin Riggsing it up out there.
Yeah.
So when he gets to this island and he finally, he finds this tree spirit who's like actual real
Yeah.
magic sort of. It like he's able to save he's able to save everybody pretty much. They all get out.
Yeah.
And
He
so-
saves his sister and the lady that he has, the cult leader's daughter that he has like a thing with.
Yeah, he's able to save pretty much the entire congregation, which is like, so he gets to make up for having all of his people get killed, and then
Right, and he has-
becomes the new spirit of the island. So
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't have to be that deep, but there is a theme of like somebody losing their faith and getting it back.
Right.
again.
He gets it back in a very specific way
Yeah.
where he's like, "No, there's still no God. There's just like this one specific tree god." Yeah, yeah.
There could be more.
Well, yeah, it's that moment. I feel like it was in a bad movie where like a priest gets their faith back by seeing evil like demons and being like, "Well, there's got to be more to this."
Yeah,
It's sort of that where I get it, where it's like
I don't.
she's not evil, but
She's
it's
not
like
really evil.
but it's like, oh, okay, there's things out there.
There's stuff beyond us.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or
yeah.
she's like a weird mutant. You don't know.
Well, she's just kind of like a forest
Yeah.
spirit. I don't know what you'd call her, like a kind of a witch, but like
It's a funny idea where these cultists came to this island to find this spirit, this
they
weird
really
siren.
yada
They're
yada
like,
over this.
let's trap her, and we'll just feed her blood and like make her.
Yeah, and she's not down with that anymore.
Yeah, what
And
a crazy fucking idea.
Yeah, it's that's what becomes the through line for Quinn, who is ultimately the villain.
Yeah.
Is he resents the shit out of Michael Sheen because he's like, I was the one who figured out how to trap the goddess
Yeah.
and get her to work for us.
And she's basically in a like covered in branches. I don't know what. There's a lot of.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not.
I would love to know how who was like, "Hey, let's trap her," and like the conversation they had of like,
Well, they
is that
explicitly say it
wise?
was Quinn who came up with the idea, but
right, but
they
like
don't
the,
show us
the
how.
discussion of like,
yeah.
why would we trap her? Like, well, we feed her blood and then we just get crops forever, and it's
I'm
like,
sorry, where are you getting this from?
yeah, and it's like, why don't we just plant crops?
We
Like,
just like build how like the stuff's growing.
yeah,
I don't know. It's
It's crazy.
You could
It's
have
crazy.
had that, but you don't really miss a lot. Like you can
No.
fill in the blanks.
his
Non-specifically.
death. Boy, does he get
Fucking
killed.
Christ. Okay, so let's track the journey of Quinn.
First,
Good villain because I hated him so fucking much.
yeah, because his daughter is the lady that the boy is
Yeah,
stupping.
nice, sweet boy Jeremy has impregnated Quinn's daughter.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
And then he finds out that she's all pregnant, and he flips out. He's like weird and pervy towards her already.
Kinda, yeah. He's like weirdly puritanical, but not.
Yeah, again, great villain.
Yeah, he's such a piece of shit, and he fucking refuses to die. That's like the
Yes.
most frustrating thing about it. It's like 9 different times you're like, "Fucking die, you asshole!"
Yeah, but
Like,
he
his
first,
assholery is what keeps him alive.
yeah, he kills his daughter when he finds out she's pregnant, and then
sure
the
does.
boyfriend who was like planning to run away and marry her shows up, and understandably so, he's pissed and tries to kill Quinn.
With the razor that Dan Stevens gave him.
Yeah.
Like when Dan Stevens burrows into a house to like where they've been keeping his sister, like map it out. He hands him his straight razor that he's been leaning on. It's like if fucking anybody comes up here, you fucking use
Yeah,
it.
you use this. I don't care who. I was hoping he'd come back out and like half the village would be dead, and
Yeah.
he's just like they just kept coming.
Yeah. So Jeremy fights with Quinn and is like fucking him up.
Yeah.
Like he slashes the shit out
And
of him
when-
with that razor. I
yeah.
was like, yeah, fucking get him.
And what makes Quinn a great villain is that when he's like finally realizes like I
He's
need
losing,
to,
yeah.
yeah, he runs outside and cries for help,
Yeah.
and just says that he fucking killed. He blames it all on the kid,
Yeah.
and whips out the old brain drill.
It's out the brain screw.
Oh fuck,
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
that's a nightmare scene.
That is a horrific scene.
Yeah, because you know it's gonna happen. Like it's that side of scene where it's like you're watching it all unfold, and you're helpless. And the main character, he's fucking there, helpless, watching And like the reactions are great where the daughter she like gets like faints, like almost faints, and like
Yeah, she's
they're
going,
just
like,
everybody's just
hysterical
fucking
to like stop it, and this is like when he finally starts, because he's like, bring out the fucking pain table or whatever, and they're like,
Yeah.
you can't do that. Like Michael Sheen has to give the word. He's like, fuck Michael Sheen.
Yeah.
It's my time. Like, so that's when the power imbalance starts to happen.
right.
Yeah, so they have like Dan Stevens is being restrained by guards, and so is Sheen's daughter, and it's kind of like, it's a horrific scene, but it's kind of like the chainsaw scene from Scarface, in which in that you don't actually see it.
You just hear.
You see the aftermath.
Yeah. This moment, this reminded me of also the VHS 2 segment, because it's basically someone going to a cult and then just getting entangled in their fucking
Yeah,
business.
and they're bullshit.
Yeah, and that's what becomes now, is because the three brothers start fighting, because it's the son of the other cultist, so he kills the guy's son, and then he comes out and he's like, what the fuck? And then Sheen comes out and he's like, what the fuck? This is my pain table. Like, you don't.
You can't do this. And then he's like, well, you're weak. You'd had the mistake of turning this into like. So that's when you realize that Quinn's never really been a religious guy, because he says, you made the mistake of turning this into faith, and she's
Right.
the goddess is a machine. We have to, so he's like, okay, you got to prove you're still the leader of this by killing Dan Stevens, and that's when Dan Stevens gets his righteous karate sequence.
Yeah.
Where he beats the shit out of the guards.
We haven't even mentioned my favorite character, which is the crazy tree man. Tree face. Old tree head.
He's Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
Yeah.
They never explain him.
No, they
so
do
it could
not.
I'm not sure if the cultists put a wooden mask on this dude, or if like he's a thrall
he's-
to the witch.
I think
but
he's
he doesn't
like
seem to
possessed by.
Well, if he was possessed by the witch, she would have had him cut her
You're
free.
You're right. So this is my favorite part, where it's just like, also let's make it as fucked up as possible and add this.
Oh yeah.
There's like a crazy fucking like a servant in the barn.
She's got a boggin. She's got a goblin.
Yeah.
In the barn that just is like grinds up
What is
bodies.
What is he doing all day? Yeah.
No man, he's like minding the joint.
He's got a people grinder.
Does have a people grinder, and it is great.
And they let him use a shotgun at one point too.
He takes the shotgun from Frank.
Oh, okay.
Frank is Jeremy's dad. He, of course, comes running up. He's like, what the fuck? You brain drilled my son. And he's like, guards, take him away. And they take him off to this hut. Now, a very important piece of information up to this point is that we see that Frank is the one that has the gun.
Right.
So he's like, you just fucking brain screwed my son. And they're like, you need to go lay down in your house, which is where the gun lives.
Right.
So the guards take Frank to his house, and then what saves, because Michael Sheen's about to like maybe kill Dan Stevens,
Right.
And then you hear shooting starts, and they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "You know what that is."
That is the man with the gun.
Yeah. So Frank is obviously gone crazy. Comes running out, and he's like, I'm putting an end to this. So he runs off to the barn to kill the witch. And that's when fucking Treehead takes the gun from Frank and kills Frank.
Right. We've already met Treehead at this point.
Yeah, we've seen him before.
He is a jarring character.
No less jarring, but he looks like he has a wooden beehive around his head. Is what he looks like. Otherwise, he's pretty much naked. He's like shirtless. He's got like tiny little pants on, and then that's it.
Yeah, he's just like one of the slaves at a Guar show, basically.
He really looks like Pyramid Head, and
Yeah.
if Pyramid Head had a wooden beehive instead of a pyramid.
So just picture that.
He's not swole either. He's just kind of
Yeah, he's just some scrawny guy.
like a guy. It's just
What
a
a
dude
weird
with a fucking tree head. So this is another horror show sequence they get in there. Quinn's completely in charge now. He shot Michael Sheen, who falls down into the tunnel.
Yeah.
They're going to feed Dan Stevens to Treehead.
Right. Well, Chance
'cause
Stevens,
he sneaks in there
in to get his sister.
She's hanging upside down in a bag because they're
Yeah.
going to put her to the people grinder to make a people smoothie for the witch to drink.
Right. And yeah, definitely because the tree head force feeds the witch, and she's not into it.
I don't think she likes the murder victims. I think that's like what the subtext
Yeah, and I don't think she likes tree head.
because I'm not sure that Michael Sheen knows that they're feeding her whole people, because that's why they have the blood collection, and that's why he's like, I'm feeding you my own blood, but I'll stop if you don't make.
But
a
he's in the barn, like he knows what's going on.
It's unclear.
It feels like they're just trying everything.
Yeah, but also who have they killed that they're feeding?
Well, I think it's like the old man. Like there's like, because I mean that wasn't the first time they've used that brain the brain
Right,
drill,
not the
the
first
pain
time
table.
we made the pain table or used the people grinder.
Like I think it's people who step out of line.
You don't make a brain drill and then not use it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't make a people
Oh, can you
grinder and
imagine
then
the
not take
first
that thing
day
on a
they
test
made
drive.
that brain drill? They're just walking around. People would like say something, be like, "What'd you say? What was that? You say something about how this god's crap? Did you say something bad about the god?
Dude,
What'd you say?
Something bad about the guy.
Do I have to get the brain drill?" Yeah, you'd be itching to use that brain drill.
Right? Yeah, you couldn't wait.
Yeah.
So they come in time to knock Dan Stevens out, and he wakes up on the people grinder table.
Yeah. And he almost gets people grinded.
He does. They fucking eat it eats his hand.
Yeah, he
it's
loses.
horrific.
He loses some fingers.
Yeah, it looks like a Mortal Kombat stage fatality that they're trying to feed him
Yeah.
through. It rips up his hand, and he has to get into a titanic battle with Treehead.
That was one of those moments when it rips up his hand, like that realization, like, oh, he's not making it out of this, like this movie.
Oh, he still could have.
No, but like,
You've seen people take that kind of damage and live in a movie.
I guess in this movie though, like just with this director, it felt like the moment he's like bleeding out that much and just lost most of his fingers, I just felt like, oh, he's not going to make this.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was mostly fine. Like 'cause that
okay.
happens to Jay Hernandez in Hostel.
Right, but I just mean, I guess I just mean this director and this tone where it felt like he's going to take that seriously. Like, I don't know. Like, he wasn't... it's like an old-timey finger loss injury. Like, I just felt like even if he made it off the island, things are going to get real
It's going to
bad
get all
for him.
gangrenous and weird. Yeah, it's going to suck.
Yeah, and that people grinder is not sanitary.
No, he doesn't wipe that. He doesn't put bleach on that at all.
No.
So the way the people are fed through the people grinder is they put hooks in you.
Yes, and through the grinder, the hooks go on a string. Or a
So
rope.
in his clash with Treehead, he hooks a hook into Treehead's throat and basically cranks the people grinder until it rips his throat out.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I was hoping Treehead was going to go through the people grinder because I was like, you don't set up the people grinder and then not send somebody through it.
Right.
But I guess that was too much.
Yeah, they didn't show much, like even the hook. Like, it's a lot of implied violence. Like, they show a
is, a
lot,
lot of
but they
aftermath.
also,
It reminds me. I mean, it's definitely gorier than Seven, but it reminds me a little bit of Seven in that way. And
Yeah.
that you really don't see the violence
right.
happen,
You just hear about it, and
and
it
then you
sounds
see the
awful.
aftermath. Yeah. So the witch touches him and gives him some memories of what happened to her, and then he's like, "Oh shit!"
And then
And
he
then
says,
he says, "I'm sorry,"
"Yeah,"
or she says, "Forgive me,"
You're right.
and then burns the burns the barn down, kills her.
which is weird because that's what she wanted, right?
Right.
She wanted to be set free, and I just interpreted that as like, set me free from this nightmare.
Yeah.
So he's like, forgive me, and she's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? This is what I wanted.
Well, I mean,
but like,
that made sense to
it
me.
was nice. It was a
Yeah.
polite thing to say.
You would still say that, like even if your friend was like, "You do, bro, you gotta kill
reminded
me,
me
bro,"
of-
you'd be like, "I'm sorry, bro," and then stab him.
It reminded me of Alien Resurrection, where it's like, kill me, and she's like, give me that flamethrower, and I wanted the Ripley to be like, with a gun? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Light me on fire, you sick fuck?
Yeah, kill me. All right, here, get the barrel of acid. We're
Yeah.
gonna slowly dissolve you.
Yeah.
So when she burns down, like the whole island catches fire. Like the blood river explodes.
It sure
Like
does.
everything goes fucking apeshit. And then we're taking Dan Stevens has got to go track down his sister and Sheen's daughter, who have been taken captive by Quinn, who has a great plan to keep
Great
the community
plan.
going. Is he's going to keep them in a rape dungeon and just continuously impregnate them and feed the babies to the witch.
Yes.
That's his plan.
Which is a bold plan. He's full of bold plans.
He's a bold man.
Yeah. He makes a lot of guesses.
Yeah, he really yeah. He really jumps to a lot of conclusions based on very little information.
Yeah. And then he gets super murdered.
Well, they have
team
a
up.
fucking fight. Like
Yeah.
this is where like I said aloud, and nobody was watching this movie with me, but I said it out loud. I was like, "Fucking die," because Dan Stevens comes in and stabs him right in the fucking like
And
neck.
that's not enough. It's not
Like,
enough.
in the tiny space between the bottom of your neck and like the top of your breastbone. He
Right.
fucking buries a knife to the hilt in there, and he won't die. Like he has to wrestle him down on the ground, and then
And then
he
the
stabs
ladies
Dan
have to
Stevens a
help.
bunch.
Well, he stabs Dan
Stabs
Stevens.
Dan Stevens a bunch.
Yeah.
And then the ladies pull their chain free from the wall, and then he gets murdered like he gets murdered like Jabba the Hutt. If like while Leia was strangling Jabba, like Luke was also cutting him open
Right.
down the middle.
It's like a team building exercise.
Yeah.
He stabs him, and then the ladies pull him.
Yeah.
So that it cuts him open.
Yeah, he just grabs a knife and just
Yeah.
cuts him the fuck open while the ladies are choking
I
with
like
this chain.
I definitely like that the ladies weren't damsels.
gnarly.
Like they were ready to throw down.
Oh yeah.
Like I liked how they did where the sister and the daughter kind of bond because she
Yeah.
brings her food.
Yeah.
And she's like immediately sympathetic, and she's like, "We're not going to kill this woman, right?" And then when it starts getting out of control, she's
Yeah.
which again was it's weird, but I'm fine with it. Where it was like, you knew what you're in a cult. Like it's weird. It felt like a few of the characters were like, "Wait, is this a cult?" Like they felt like they didn't know
Yeah,
they
'cause
killed
she was
people,
like,
but
when-
it's
when-
like
when Quinn was gonna make Sheen kill Dan Stevens, she was like, when she was pleading with Michael Sheen, she was like, don't be the man that I fear you've become or something. It's like,
Right.
well, I mean he's
he
leading a
kidnapped.
cult.
Yeah, and he kidnapped this woman.
Kidnapped
It
the
wasn't a
lady.
secret.
Yeah.
When Dan Stevens like is talking to the kid, and he's like, "Do you know this lady?"
Yeah.
He knows her. He's like,
Yep.
"Yeah, we kidnapped her."
Yeah.
It's like it was in the newsletter. Like
Yeah.
like they are not. They are very clearly a cult. So yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. But he gets all the cultists on the boat.
Yeah, I did. I feel like there was like some because there's that other older lady who's like, "We'll wait for you at the boat." That lady
Yeah.
is also seems like she never for a second believed the cult stuff. Like it felt like all the women were just like, "This is just something our
They
husbands
probably
feel
got
like
dragged there
doing."
by their husbands.
Yeah, they're blowing off some steam. I keep like leaving out like job applications and stuff for them. Like, hey, maybe there's this cool thing on the mainland. Maybe we could go do that.
I mean, I've been logging into LinkedIn every day
Yeah.
since we've been out here.
So yeah, I felt like the moment they were like, "Let's get the fuck out of here,"
The cultists are very
they were
so ready to leave.
ready to leave.
So ready to leave.
Yeah,
Okay, and it kind of makes sense because they're telling us like all the crops have been dead.
Yeah. Also, there was probably that moment where they're like when some guy comes home and he's like, "We got to pack," and they're like, "What?" And they're like, they just drilled someone's brain open and then fought about it, and then they ran off with a gun, and it's like,
Right, like all three
Yeah.
leaders of the
we
community.
need to go. So this is.
Oh, this
I
is-
think this is a cult. Like, pretty sure.
I mean, we thought we were okay because they hadn't asked us for any money, but this is a call.
Yeah.
So they all get the fuck off the island, except for Dan Stevens and Michael Sheen.
Yeah, which I like. They just like are both on a hill watching them leave, and they just sort of have a moment of like, "Yep, this got out of hand."
Yeah, this really went wild.
Yeah, this really got away from me. And then he starts to die and bleed, and the grass
When
grows.
when his blood hits the ground, grass grows in his place.
And the last shot is the grass slithering into his skin while he's staring up
Yeah,
with
and
this crazed look in his eyes.
which is what the forest goddess looked like. So
Right.
he's essentially taken.
her place,
place.
yeah. So it's like the island. It's not like it's something like the island's alive or something crazy is happening.
Something, but
This fucking movie.
it's a fucking wild movie.
Yeah, it doesn't let up. It really doesn't. Like
No.
it has some like character moments. Like it's got people talking. It's not like The Raid where it's just constant action.
nonstop. Yeah,
But it's boy, what a fucking movie.
it's a fucking film.
Yeah, it's.
Again, gorgeously shot.
I'm gonna put this under like I'm glad I've seen it. I've seen it twice now, and I enjoy it both times. But this is not a I'm gonna watch this all the time movie.
No, it's not. It's not a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, well, I would say it's a fun movie to watch because it's that lamb. It's the lamb moment. It's
Yeah.
something that's so horrific that you're like, whoa, Jesus, and you kind of have to laugh because it's like this is so fucking
It's a
the
good,
brain drill again. It was just like, oh my fucking
this is
God.
a movie you'll watch once a year. You'll watch it around October. You'll watch it in Shocktober.
This is a fun movie to watch other people watch.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch other people watch this film.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Stoked for Gareth Evans to make more films.
Yeah. Seriously. I'm glad he did a horror in action. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I want more.
Yeah. I think he was working on some TV series about like gangs in England or something.
Okay. Sure.
Which could be pretty boss.
Yep. Let's hope they don't fucking get him to do a Star Wars or something.
Nah.
No, I don't think he
That'd
would.
be a drag.
Or it'll be an awesome movie.
He'll make a horror movie in the Star
Yeah.
Wars universe.
if they just let him do whatever.
Yeah. Or like a balls out action movie
Yeah.
in Star Wars. That'd be sweet.
It's a crazy fucking Star Wars. Oh, yeah.
You picked the wrong Gareth Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah, that's true. Fucking
Yeah. So
fucking movie. Just talking
Apostle.
about it
Yeah.
is exhausting.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, see it on Netflix.
Yep.
Watch it with the family.
Gather people around,
Yeah.
cook up some popcorn. You're going to definitely want to be eating.
Yeah, get a
constantly throughout
few
this movie.
juicy burgers.
Get a Sloppy Joe's.
Sloppy Joe's.
Some barbecue. Yeah. Pie.
Pie. Yeah, some
Cherry pie.
cherry pie. Mix it with the Sloppy Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Make a whole theme of it.
Yeah, make a big feast. Make a big gross feast
Yeah.
that you can eat
Yeah.
while you're watching this film. This film.
This film.
All right. I think
Yeah, that's it.
that's a sode, y'all.
All right.
It's good. Watch it.
Should we say goodbye?
Yeah, well, I mean, check us out on Patreon, Gamefully Unemployed. Kick us a few bucks. You can check out our exclusive podcast if you become a patron, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman.
Yeah.
And we got t-shirts, teespring.com/user/Gamefully Unemployed.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
good things.
And watch Apostle.
And watch Apostle with your Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joes.